Thank you so much for just joining us for the discussion with Trichologists on a Mission. I thank everybody for being on this video chat today. And I just want to introduce myself. I'm Kendra Timmons. I'm a certified trichologist and hair loss specialist, as well as the founder of Blessings Beauty and Hair Restoration Center in Arlington, Texas. And I'm also the moderator this evening. So I want to give everybody a chance to introduce yourself. So Linda, tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, I'm Linda Boyce. I'm certified hair loss specialist. I am located in Houston, Texas, and just excited to be on the call to, just to have a little chat and have some fun, actually just sharing some information.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being
You're
here.
welcome.
All right, Miss Nadia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Trichologists on a Mission. My name is Nadia Hughes, and I am your holistic practitioner in the area of San Antonio, Texas, and I am the founder of TOAM, Trichologists on a Mission, and I want to welcome you guys to this this little chat that we need to have about client compliancy. So thank you for joining in, guys.
Yes, definitely. All right, Miss Candace.
Hello, ladies. This is Candace Gibson, and I am a hair loss practitioner in Newark, Delaware. And I am excited to be on this call tonight. So thank you very much for having me.
Amazing. Thank you for being here, Candace. All right, we have one more, I think. Miss Katrina?
Yes, hello, everybody. This is Katrina Pleasant. I am a hair loss practitioner or holistic practitioner, also located in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm the membership director, I'm sure as most of you guys know, for Trichologists on a Mission. I primarily focus on salon consulting now, though. I'm not behind the chair anymore. So I'm just building our organization and helping y'all build yours.
Yes.
Definitely. And that's great. Katrina does so much here for us at Trichologists on a Mission. And so I just want to thank her for everything that she's doing. Yeah, she's a force, so a lot of things that you see that we're doing, Katrina is behind it. So we just want to thank her. But we're talking about client compliance this evening, okay? And I think a lot of us can relate to clients not really being compliant to the prescription, to the regimen that we give them. And so we thought that would be a great conversation to have, just to kind of see, what we can do to help our clients stay compliant, and also what you're doing in your practices to help your clients stay compliant. So we want to have those that are listening in to our podcast, and so they can go back and be able to utilize some of the things that, that we're saying here. But I want to say, I was reading an article and it talked about 3 types of clients. Client number 1, I wrote it down. Client number 1 is the low compliance client. They struggle to follow the program. Okay. Client number 2 is the high compliance client, but they get low results. They follow the program, but they get below expected results. And client number 3 is the high compliance, high results client, which is the one that we all hope to have. They follow the program and they get above expected results. So each one of those have a specific need and the ability to make drastic change. But we're going to start off with talking about client number 1, which is the low compliance client that struggles to follow the program. So our goal with them is to boost compliance. So I just want to ask some of you all, what is your strategy for those type of clients to help them stay compliant on the regimen that you give them so they can have results? Anybody?
Well, me personally, I have a policy in Here Again, which is my company. And the main thing there, I always give them 100% guarantee. Money guarantee. And when I say money guarantee, once I do my due diligence and my process of elimination, trying to figure out if I'm going to be able to assist them and I'm going to be able to be effective on my treatment for them, then I assure them that I'm able to grow more hair. Okay, so with that being said, the only way they can qualify for more hair, or I'm sorry, money back guarantee, is if they're compliant with their treatment, from shampooing daily, from coming to their appointments weekly, being able to take their pictures once a week to show their progress and so forth. Once that there's no communication with me and my client, that they're not showing to the appointments, they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then, you know, that policy is no longer in effect. Okay, why? Because of the simple fact that I cannot keep up. I cannot keep up with my studies, seeing, you know, if the system is actually helping them, what's going on. There's certain things that we notice at the 5th or 6th week that, you know, sometimes it's important for them to be showing up to their appointments, for them to be doing regularly their product. You know, every product has a procedure that you have to follow. So it is important. So that for me has worked beautifully, because clients, you know, even if they're not going to show up because they have an emergency, life happens to them, they call me and they tell me, can we book for the next 2 days, or whatever the case is, because, you know, they want the money back guaranteed. So for me, it has worked beautifully. But then you have those clients that once they get the results, they don't come back no more. They're happy with it to a certain point, and they say, thank you, but no thanks. I'm done, you know? So, you know, that's my personal experience for me, what has happened for me, Kendra.
Okay. I like that, what you're saying, that, you know, you have a policy and even the money back guarantee. So I guess if you word it right, you know, the money back guarantee is, you know, a great way to really get them in the door, as well as help them to stay on.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Right. Anybody else?
Yeah, this is Katrina. I just want to add to that. I would say that, you know, it's especially for the stylists who are listening to this, there's a lot of roles that we play behind the chair. You know, we're stylists, we're hair loss practitioners, we're counselors, we're therapists, we're a lot of things to the people who sit in our chair, because it's a very intimate position to be in with the client. You know, it is the one job that I like to say, it's the one that you can't outsource. You know, we always got our hands on them, and it's a very intimate position. So I think that one of the roles we have to play to an extent with the non-compliant client is the role of a parent. And one of the things that we know as parents, for those of us who are parents, is that you kind of got to identify what works for your child, right? You got to identify how they learn, what motivates them. You know, there's so many things. And like I say, I have an almost 13-year-old, and it's quite a learning experience right now, just trying to figure those things out. But they learn differently. So a lot of times, like if you were to give me a written plan, I would be able to follow it very easily, because that's my style of learning. However, you have some people who, especially like stylists, their style of learning is you need to show them hands-on, or, you know, you got to give them, it's more like pictures and flow charts rather than words, you know. Or for the more, the people who kind of need a hands-on, you actually got to go through the steps with them on what they need to do at home. So I think it's to kind of put the shoe on the foot of the stylist, to lay a little bit of responsibility there, that, you know, because we have so much passion for this and we care about our clients so much, that we just have to, on occasion, you're going to get this type of client and you have to put a little extra effort into them, you know. So figure it out what it is that makes them jump, what makes them move, and kind of help them through that. And even for the non-compliant client, you might have to make a phone call, you know, between those weekly visits. You might have to call them in a couple of days just to follow up and see where they're at and what they're doing, and to make sure that they're not having any issues. Because that's another thing. Sometimes they don't understand something when they left your place, but they're, you know, too embarrassed or prideful to call and ask. You know, so a lot of times, you know, you go ahead and call them and they'll be like, oh, I'm so glad you called. You know, I was stuck. I didn't know what to do here or whatever. And it's just that extra little gentle push that they might need. So that would be kind of my solution to a non-compliant client.
Yeah, I think that's really great advice, Katrina, especially mention about the client's learning style, because everybody learns different. Like you said, some are hands-on, some can just follow what you say. And I know I've been guilty of just telling them what to do and sending them on their way and wondering what's up, why it's not happening. But here lately, I've started implementing a treatment plan. And so after I consult with my client, I'll let them go back up front, and then I'll get on my computer real quick. I already have the layout, and I'll just type in, you know, the plan, what we're gonna do, what they can look forward to, what it appears to be, and how much it is. And so that way, if they don't do anything at that moment, they can still go home and look at it. And even after they do sign up, you know, it's important for them to pay attention to the treatment plan so they can be compliant. And also calling, like, I don't really, here lately, I said, you know what, there's some clients that I'm thinking about. I do need to make that call to them. And sometimes we just like, well, they know that they want hair, or they do. You know, I do that with my regular clients. I don't call because I feel like, you know, that you need your hair done. So I just don't. But, you know, with these particular clients, because this is something that they have to do on a regular basis. They, you know, 9 times out of 10 is something they may have to do every day, depending on, you know, your regimen. So it is important, I think, that we give them a call just to follow up and just let them know we're thinking about you, you know, what's going on, you have any questions. I do think that's important. So that's great. That's great. All right. Anybody else have anything on that one?
I wanted to add that on my consultation form, I have a question. How much does it bother you when you see yourself in a picture? You know, how much does it bother you? And, you know, depending on their response, you can kind of tell who's going to be, you know, because if it's not a big bother to you, you're just here to see what, you know, what I say, or you're just here just because, then kind of know, okay, so this is going, you can put them in one of the 3 categories. So that's one of the things, because if it bothers you, if you're that high profile client that's in front of, you know, you're doing presentations all the time, and, you know, so you know the kind of client and how important it is, how much it bothers them. So that's a kind of an indicator as to, you know, who's going to be more compliant. And yeah. And I meant to mention that too. You know, if you kind of ask them, so on a scale from 1 to 10, how much does your hair loss bother you? And if they say 5, okay. So we already know that they're not that serious. But, you know, if they say a 9 or even an 8, you know, then we have a chance to kind of get them to be compliant.
And let me say something, but then also you have those clients that they buy everything on the shelves, okay, because they want to try everything. And, you know, when they're there, they're all hyped up. Yes, I want to do it, and I'm going to change my eating habits. I'm going to drink more water. But then when the week goes and you ask them, so how many times did you shampoo your hair? Well, I tried, you know. So you always get those situations, you know, with certain clients. So yeah, it's a bit difficult. We have a great task ahead of us.
And I think that's probably why it's a good thing to, whatever we give them, to make it easy, especially those that aren't compliant, you know, take it down to the lowest denominator. Okay. So, you know, Nadia, I know that you instruct your clients to shampoo every day. So some are just not going to do it. Like, I've tried to talk to some and they're like, no, I'm not. I'm just letting you know.
But, you know, that's the funny part, because 100% of my African-American clients, they're shampooing daily basis without an issue. Even those that tried it for the period of 3 months that we had them on the system, you know, they even mentioned, like, you know what, I tried to go without shampooing a couple of days. I couldn't do it. I feel dirty. So they feel the difference. They appreciate the the cleanness, you know, how does it feel on the scalp to be clean and debris free and things like that. So definitely, you know, there's going to be some clients that, you know, they don't mind, you know, following. But, you know, I'm a very strict person when it comes to the system, you know, because I know that's the only way I'm going to be able to. So I always tell them, don't waste your time, your money, and don't waste my time. Because if I'm not successful in regrowing your hair, I'm not going to make no money. This is going to go to the drain. So we need to make sure that it's going to be possible. So whenever you're ready to change your diet, to start drinking more water, to start applying yourself, you know, to do what I'm telling you, then come back and see me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's great. You know, sometimes you do have to be strict with them. I just say, okay, well, if you're used to shampooing every 2 weeks, then at least bring it down to once a week. Can you do that? And some of them like, well, yeah, I can do that. Okay, so let's work on that, and then we're gonna just take baby steps with some of them, and then you have some who's ready to hit the ground rolling, and they'll do whatever you ask. So that's great. All right, so client number 2 is that client that are high compliance. They do everything you tell them to do, but then they don't get the results that we expect. Okay, so and our goal with them is measurable progress. So what are some of the things that you do? And I'll start with you, Nadia. What are some of the things that you do with those clients that it just, you know, it's just not coming together?
Right. I had a couple of clients like that. Actually, we find out that it's hormonal. Of course, you know, when the client comes in and you do the first consultation, you ask them if they have gotten their hormones checked. And the first thing they tell you, oh, yes, I'm fine. My doctor said everything is perfect, so I should be fine. Okay, so I'm trusting you telling me that you already went through your doctor and all this good stuff. So I am proceeding with doing the system, okay, or the hair restoration. But I noticed with my system at the 5th week to going to the 6 weeks, if it doesn't move forward, your hair started growing, but then it goes to a stall, like it's not doing anything. And the client is doing everything in the books, and, you know, we're texting back and forth, you know, and you know, everything is fine, but except the results is not happening. So you started questioning yourself. So then, you know, that's when I said, okay, so we're going to have to pay a visit to the endocrinologist and see what's going on, because most likely it's going to be hormonal. And it had happened on both of the times that it has happened to me in my history of trichology. We send them to the endocrinologist, and in fact, they had an imbalance. Once they put them on the right medication and, you know, to regulate their hormones, oh my God, it sparked like fire. So that has been my experience with people that try it all, but, you know, then you don't see. So there's something, it's telling us that something's going on in the body.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I can see that. You know, it may be more body specific. You have to individualize those treatment plans.
Right.
All right. Anybody else have something to say on that one?
I think that clients, just to piggyback off of what Nadia said, sometimes they are ashamed, or they don't want to share, you know, or they haven't developed the relationship yet between you and them, and so they kind of hold back, not realizing that holding back is going to prolong the progress, you know. And so I think it's important to, you know, at least, you know, we had that in the class, the trichology class, where they tell you to sit and, you know, be on level with them and, you know, talk to them eye to eye. So those are some of the things that we use to gain trust, so that they can divulge the information and be truthful up front, so that, you know, you can get the ball rolling. And also taking responsibility. That seems to be a huge factor with all people. You know, we always want to point the finger, it's your fault, you know, and not take responsibility for the part that we play in the process. So
yeah, and trust, forming that relationship and trust is very important. I know I had a client yesterday, and her hair was just all gone. I mean, she had just pieces everywhere. And she told me part of it, you know, and I kind of went with what she told me. But later on, as we continued talking, she was like, well, I'm just going to be honest. I didn't tell you everything, you know. And she had, her son had gotten killed. You know, I guess she just didn't want to tell me that up front. And she had been really stressed out. And, you know, so, you know, it is important that we do have that level of trust and be able to, you know, they don't feel just rushed, and we can look at them eye to eye and let them know that I do care, you know, about your hair and what you're going through. And I, you know, I want to help as much as I can. So definitely. Okay. So that third client is the one that takes the prescribed action and they get the expected result. And those are the clients that we just love to have.
Hooray for those.
Unfortunately, it's not, you know, a big percentage. You know what, for my practice, it's not a big percentage. So our goal with them is to prevent burnout and just build sustainable habits. We want them, you know, to, you know, just have a habit of doing what they need to do. So with them, I guess it's kind of like, congratulations, and maybe, you know, let's see what else we can do. You know, how can we keep them to continue? Because they may see hair, they may, you know, get to a place where they're comfortable, where you don't have the thinning anymore. But, you know, is it important to maybe have a new challenge with them so they can grow more hair? You know, because I know, Nadia, you mentioned that they're like, okay, thank you, but no thank you, I'm good. So how do you keep them coming, and let's get some better results?
Right. So I always give them a plan to come back for maintenance, because once the person is predispositioned to have hair loss, they're gonna deal with new challenges health-wise, habits that they might pick up through the years and things like that. So anything and everything can onset again the hair loss. Any systemic change that the person goes through, it will create against hair loss. So I let them know that ahead of time. You have the control of your hair at all times by keeping your diet, by keeping your supplements up, and all this good stuff. But anything and everything that might happen in your lifetime from now on, as we age also, it might be an illness and whatever the case is. But you have to understand that we are here to, you know, to assist you. So I'd rather for you to keep, you know, a plan that you can visit me once a month and do a treatment, you know, at a low cost that will not take us that long, but it will maintain your healthy hair. So that's how I keep my clients coming in. When it comes to supplements, I always ask them to please use it minimum 3 times, 3 recurrent times. So we're talking about more or less a year and 3 months or 4 months, somewhere around there. So to stay on the supplements that we recommended. It don't matter which ones, you know, whichever the trichologist asks. But I always tell them, if it's doing you good, why stop it now? You know, so that's my way of, you know, letting know my clients that they need to keep in contact with me at all times. I say, keep me on your speed dial, and just in case anything, you know, anything you might need me for, I'm there. Any questions, any new stuff that you want to try or whatever the case is, because sometimes our clients do that. They're going to want to go wonder because they see a lot of advertisement on Facebook or whatever the case is. So, you know, I always recommend them to, you know, to look at the reviews and things like that. But, you know, there's nothing like a professional product line made specifically for them, you know, and that's where I explain to them, this is not made for you. You know, this is just for the typical people there, you know, they don't have, you know, the ways or the means to go to a specialist to get treated. So most definitely just keep me on your speed dial.
Right.
I think the beauty of us is that we are cosmetologists / trichologists, and so
yes.
we don't have to necessarily lose the client, because as that hair grows, they will need protein treatments, they will need maintenance, and so, you know, you want to keep keep that going. And it's just, you know, we go to the doctor for our yearly visits and our yearly checkups. So, you know, the hair and the scalp is no different. So to emphasize that to the client, then, you know, we can retain the client, not just regrowing your hair, but also maintenance as cosmetologists, for those of us that are still behind the chair.
Yes. Not no more. This side.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. 50 and getting tired, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so it's important, you know, that we schedule follow-up. We don't want to let the client leave without an appointment. Even if, you know, they're good, like Nadia say, then you can still have some follow-up appointments once a month, you know, once a quarter. But go ahead and get that on the schedule so they'll have something to look forward to.
Right.
All right, Candace, what you have anything?
Hi. No, right now, I don't have any input, because I sort of agree with everyone who has made their comments, and I believe that it is, in order to get the clients on a regimen, you know, you definitely, like Katrina said, you do have to be everything to the client. You have to be the parent, the therapist, you know, the social worker. I have a background in social work, so I'm always like counseling the clients, you know, just to help them maintain and stay on track of keeping, you know, their hair healthy, their scalp healthy. So everything that was said, I definitely can agree upon.